This is the year of the family.
Welcome to our Thursday night community engagement program. You know, these programs I really do enjoy. Why? Because it allows us to bring people from the community that are making significant changes and to hear their hearts. Well, the person I've got in the studio today, I'm telling you, you will be blessed. I have got Donna Murray Turner. Now, I've seen this woman of God. I will call her a woman of God. I've seen the way she conducts herself in various arenas, even to the point that she's done a TED Talk. Excellent. But Donna is running for a position in Parliament, and she's connected to Taking the Initiative Party. And I've invited her into the studio to share her heart as she gets herself ready for the 4th of July. So, let's welcome her, shall we? Donna?
Thank you. Thank you for a wonderful introduction.
So much for coming in. I said I've watched you for a long while, and I was so excited to hear that you're taking up this challenge and expecting us to vote for you in Taking the Initiative Party on the 4th of July.
Yes.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the warm invitation and welcome.
Donna, tell us about your quest and why, and what's wrong with Croydon. Why do you believe that you will make a difference? And also, why should we vote for you?
That's a big question. So I was born here, just around the corner. It was called St Mary's at the time. This is back in the early 70s. I won't say which year. And my parents, both from the Windrush generation, both from the Caribbean.
Very good.
They married young and had me young. By the time they were 21, I was around. And so my roots are here. Both sets of grandparents were the first generation of Jamaicans to come from Jamaica to here.
When you say here?
I mean here to Croydon. So I had one grandfather, my paternal grandfather lived on Arundel Road, if anybody knows where that is, just across from here.
Yeah.
And Mr. and Mrs. Drummond lived on Farnley Road all the days of my life. I live there now. So I have strong roots within Croydon. Some of the first families, the Prices, the Scarletts. I know all of them very, very well. The Bennetts. Very, very well. Have those ties. Strong roots. I have strong roots. I don't talk about it. It's not always evident, but I have strong roots to this borough. Born, raising my own young adults.
Yes.
2018 and 16. Blessings. Thank you very much, Jehovah God. Here in the borough. And so Croydon is important to me. Croydon is important to me.
Donna, it's changed, hasn't it?
It has changed drastically. I remember when I was at school, relatives that lived towards inner London would say, "You live a country," because we had green buses back in those days.
What?
406 and all of these different, They used to laugh at us and say that we had country bus. So when I was growing up, Croydon was seen very much as almost like the Garden of London, right? It was a nice place to live. I think it still is. To a certain extent.
I love Croydon.
I love it.
Croydon.
Yeah, I love it because I love the fact that it's here. 15 minutes this way, we're in central London. 15 minutes this way, we can be by the coast. It's just a very, it's like a conduit, Croydon.
Yes.
You can be anywhere at any time, go and come. We've now got trains to Cambridge.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's in terms of transportation, it's a wonderful place. So I say all that to say I am invested in my borough. I feel passionately about what happens here, both in the south and in the north.
Donna, I hear the passion because that's why I'm so excited that you're here. The passion. But through your eyes, what's gone wrong with Croydon, and that's enabled you to step up to take this initiative and to run? What's gone wrong?
I, as you will know, have been involved I'm going to say loosely, because not the leadership of Croydon now for quite a few years. Worked hard, honed my craft, led through example and thought leadership. Really, I am a strong thought leader, and I think they call it social entrepreneurism now. There's lots of things that I have thought of that have benefited the community, predominantly women. I seem to be a little bit of a leader of women.
Okay.
But I've had that kind of focus and that voice. And I think what we've been lacking in Croydon is that strong thought leadership.
Right.
You see, unless you can think in a resilient way, you won't get through the difficult times. And Croydon is now in a difficult time.
Absolutely.
I think on Sunday I said, our hot girl summer is long behind us. That the days of Croydon being this vibrant place to shop.
I remember those days too.
Those days would seem to be behind us. So actually the type of leadership we need now and representation are people who know what to do when times are tough.
Yeah.
Who, as we would say, could make a full meal with 5 ingredients. And so for me, I think I am one of those people. And I think I've proved that with very little, we can still make effective change to support. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, Donna, and I need to make this very clear. Voting me in on the 4th of July, you see, by the 7th, all of Croydon's woes will not be gone.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes people have a very literal understanding of making change. But what I want to say is, in the same way when parishioners, attempt to clear up their credit file, it doesn't happen first year, it doesn't happen second year, but by consistently. By consistently paying back those debts, by consistently doing whatever it is you need to do to remedy that situation. Finally, for year 4, you say I'm debt free. My credit score is there. So for me, I just need to say that the change we wish to make, the change I say that I can make on behalf of Croydon West, won't happen overnight. No. But by being consistent, something I have proved, I am consistent. I'm always there. By showing up, by collaboration. I believe in collaboration.
It's important.
I believe in putting ego to the side for the greater outcome. All of those things combined, I believe we can lead Croydon to a better place.
Well, Donna, I asked the question then. Why vote for you? Why vote for you?
Without voting for me...
I know it's a pressing question, but why vote for Donna?
I have 3 strands. Vote for me because I have that thought leadership and I've demonstrated it. I'm not doing this because I'm going to move out of the borough. So you're not going to suddenly find out that, she get rich now and she moved to Whiteleaf or something. I am here. I'm accessible. Some of these young people don't even know who their MP is. When I've been doing these groups as I've been campaigning, young people don't know who their MP is. They don't know how to access them. I'm accessible, I'm approachable, and more importantly, I am accountable. I believe in good old-fashioned town hall meetings where we thrash it out, but we come to a consensus to take us to the next step. I'm not hiding away behind some party system where I have people, monitoring my phones. I am accessible. These same streets will be the same streets that my constituents will walk, is where I am. The buses. So for me, it's about being accessible, approachable. We need that representation. And if we really want to see change, then I feel that voting for me will give us a chance at that.
What will be the first thing you'll do, given that wonderful position of being an MP? What would be the first thing you'll tackle to show that I mean business with this? You vote me in, I want to prove that I want to change. What would be the first thing you'll tackle? I
really want to lobby for national funding. Not local funding, national funding, not London funding, national funding for the voluntary sector. Now that's where you would have met me.
Yes.
Right now, yes. As an MP, and it's good to say this, it's good to have the opportunity to say this. You've got your councillor level,
yes.
You've got your mayor,
yes.
And you've got your slightly to the side, slightly higher, MP. A lot of the things that affect us locally are housed within the local authority. So Mayor Perry is the start and stop for a lot of those things.
Yes.
What you can do as an MP, though, is bringing that, because it's national seat, right?
Yes, it is.
Bringing that national focus to the issues of your constituents.
So it's an extra push.
It's an extra push. It's an extra layer. where you can, lobby for the things that you need. And I feel that the voluntary sector that is now delivering much, because we're a bankrupt borough, right? So
they're the one delivering, aren't they?
They're the ones that
They
are
are
delivering the interventions. They're the ones supporting vulnerable adolescents.
Yes.
They're the ones working with gangs. They're the ones that are supporting young girls who are in gangs with violence against them and domestic abuse and sexual violence. This is not being carried out by the local authority. So for me, with that knowledge and wisdom, with that knowledge, I apply wisdom and say, well, hold on a minute, this is important. Draw down, at least lobby for, demand that Croydon gets this national introspection. We're an outer London borough, and we receive outer London funding, but we have inner London issues. We don't get Lambeth funding. If you look at our cousin, sister boroughs, we don't get the funding that they get.
Okay.
Southwark and Lambeth get much more funding than us. But yet we have the largest amount of young people, the largest amount of looked after children. We have the issues. We are bankrupt. We have no borough employment, very few opportunities, nowhere really for all of these 100,000 young people to go. It's just a perfect storm for controversy. So actually, Sarah and Steve have not been saying those things, and definitely Chris Phelps, they're in the South. I'm going to be saying those things because a lot of those people involved, I know them, I know their children, I know their situation, I know their hearts.
You're on the ground, you see it, you feel it.
There is a belief, Uncle, that we like the way we live.
No.
We like this. This is the way that we are looked at because we know we don't do any better. But if help doesn't come and Superman is not coming, we are relying on the representatives that we have to take that conversation forward. And that's why I want the vote.
I love your strapline. Very churchy, I must admit, but I think it's got deeper connotation. You got wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Now that's from the book of Solomon. Solomon uttered that. What drew you to use that as a campaign strapline? What happened in that area?
You were there, so I don't know why you're asking me the question.
But it's kind of hooked to you. It's something that's a driver for you. I mean, people from maybe non-church might look at that and think, well, wow, that makes sense. I don't have to belong to a church background to understand that, or that it came from the Bible. The way you bring it out or make it accessible to us speaks volumes. What's your take on that? It's an interesting strapline.
So, I'm going to speak to camera here because Uncle's not telling. Well, he is, but he was there. So I was invited, one of my first engagements in this campaign journey. And I was invited to an event, a gospel talent singing.
Yes, it was our fundraiser.
It's a fundraiser.
Fundraiser drive.
So it's my first event.
Amazing.
And it was absolutely amazing. And I was sat next to a pastor who was visiting from Jamaica. Shout out to Pastor Ingleton. And I was just enjoying it. I was watching everybody dance because, I grew up in Jehovah's Witness. They don't dance at church. So I was watching people express their worship through their bodies. And I was enjoying it because the bass line and the guitarist and the keyboardist, oh my goodness. I thought it was, I was raving. Yeah, it was wonderful. And listening to the words and some of the stories of the people that took part. Anyway, fast forward, we get to the end. And I'm asked to say a few words, and so I go up there and I speak. And Uncle here says, I don't know where this is coming from, but there's something on me that says, I need to tell you this word, Donna. And I'm stood up there thinking, well, what's going to happen now? And then everything else just followed. And you said, I don't know what is causing me to tell you this, but I'm thinking Solomon. I'm thinking faith, wisdom, and understanding. Now you have to remember, this is emotional. I am saying what my vision is for Croydon. Uncles come along with other church leaders and they're praying on this thing and they're saying, yes, Lord. And I'm stood there and I just felt this. I remembered, and the first thing I did was I remembered that story from my Bible book of storybook, right? And so I remembered that's how he came to be. That's how Solomon became the wisest man. Because Jehovah said, well, what do you want? I can give you riches. I can make the other kings of the earth bow down to you. And so my mind at that is racing. So I've got all of these memories. And then we're having a prayer, I think, at that point. And what nobody knows is Yeah. I pray. I might not go to church every day to a building on a Sunday, whatever it is, but I pray. It's one of the first things my parents taught me to do. And so when I face times that are overwhelming or challenges, I pray, as many of you do, right? So in the middle of all of this now, I'm saying, oh my goodness, what's happening here? And the church is praying for me. And I think one of your sisters came and put her arms around me. And it was just a really poignant, emotional moment. And I listened to what you said. But the bit is, Uncle was saying, Donna, do you want these things? I need to hear you. I didn't know I was meant to speak. I was just listening. And then when the microphone was given to me, what came out of my mouth, I didn't even know I knew scripture like that, honestly, in that moment when I said, in the land where there is no vision, the people perish. Mm-hmm. If my parents were alive, they would be so proud because they would say all the little things that they did beat into me, I actually came through with on that day. But this for me has been the message because it was born out of a strong feeling of this is what Croydon needs. Yeah. Wisdom. Yeah. We think we have the understanding, but have we really spoken to everyone? It's very much for me on this journey has been the lack of talking to young people. So I've been very focused in working with youth groups. Not working with them, listening. So I've got one tomorrow. I'm going to the youth clubs and I'm listening. I'm asking them, what do you want from a local MP? What is it you think I can accomplish for you? Good. So the knowledge now is about understanding what other people want, not what we sit in those rooms on a Friday and we say this is the community. That's not representative of the community. Where are the young people often? So for me, it's about listening to parents. These are the people who have the young people that are going across, like myself, and making it a non-judgmental space too. Where are the parents' voices? Speaking with church leaders like yourself. I've really enjoyed this campaign. Speaking to church leaders, what's their vision for their congregations for Croydon? So for me, it's about everyone. It's not just one particular cohort. It is everyone. And if there's anything I really hope this does, is what we lack in terms of that wisdom piece, and you and I spoke about it earlier on, is there is no synergy across Croydon. These people are here, so this is what I believe. Labour is here, Conservatives is here, Black Church is here, and we're all in our silos doing our thing. And when something bad happens,
that's when we all come together.
We all come out and we say, oh, it's just...
Donna, I'll tell you what, we're going to go to a commercial break at this moment, okay? That's what we're going to do. I'm going to pick up that synergy. I don't know which camera I'm on, whatever I'm on. Synergy. Donna's going to break it down. The importance, if we're going to get anything done, we need synergy. We'll be back straight after this message.
This is the notices for Acts Christian Church for this week.
Come as you are and feel the blessings of our Lord every Sunday, 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Acts Christian Church, where we provide family worship and an uplifting sermon. Acts Christian Church services are at Falsham Hall, 2 Falsham Road, Thornton Heath, CR7 8LQ. You can also find us on all socials on Acts Christian Church. We look forward to seeing you this Sunday. Come as you are and feel the blessings of our Lord every Sunday, 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Acts Christian Church, where we provide family worship and an uplifting sermon. Acts Christian Church services are at Falsham Hall, 2 Falsham Road, Thornton Heath, CR7 8LQ. You can also find us on all socials on Acts Christian Church.
Why not join the Gospel Train on Saturdays 7 till 10 on vibesfm.net. You'll hear great gospel music from Gospel Kid, the word from our Bishop Mark Nicholson, and the classic suite from Pastor Lloyd Anthony Hall. The Gospel Train, Saturdays at 7 till 10 a.m. on vibesfm.net.
enjoying the conversation because I have, look, before we went to commercial break, we were dealing with the word synergy. I love that word. We're going to go right back to Donna. You talked about synergy, which I believe is important in any agreements. Break that down because I believe that's what you're going to be bringing to this party.
That's right.
To get us to vote. Go ahead.
100%. So synergy is how two entities or more combine, come together to create an outcome bigger than themselves.
Wow, I just love that. You can preach a message on that right now. Go ahead, go ahead.
And that is what I bring to the table. People say, what are you going to do differently? We already have somewhat synergy in Croydon. There's been a lot of work around engagement with different parties. But I want to force that now into something that bears fruit. And I've tried at the safer neighborhood level, I've tried at a lower level, and I'm just seeing if now this national seat is something that can sit with others and forge something, especially for the people of Croydon West, because it's so important. Some of our, the stabbings, the loss of life, have been within the constituency.
I've been in the forefront of that. I know.
And I've been there. I've stood next to Sarah. I've stood next to other leaders across the borough when these things have happened.
You have.
This is a different time now because when you don't have locusts, when you don't have the point of reference with which to do certain things, you're often blocked by other people. What people's votes on the 4th of July will give me is the locus I need to create the change that we need. Synergy. It's about coming together. So I have to come together with you, your registered voters. I have to come together with you and together ask for, we need to get Donna in there because this is what she said. She has said she will create for us a different environment where we will come together and forge. Now, forge is an action. To forge something takes action. It's not something Donna will do and you will sit there and watch to forge something takes effort. It's not even just an action, it's a force. We are going to force ourselves into conversations, into rooms where we create the synergy to make Croydon better. And that's going to take action. Not words, not sound bites, action. It's going to take parents coming to the meetings that I call.
Right.
It's going to take church leaders coming to the meetings that we'll call. It's going to take young people allowing and just feeling they can be free in spaces to talk about. All of that is synergy because that's bringing that together. But what we're going to forge that into will be the blueprint to make Croydon a better place. So that's my vision.
Will you be accessible? Sometimes when people get in these positions, we can't get hold of other. How accessible will you be?
Well, we can't afford to move, so I'm here.
Why? I'm
not going anywhere. I don't feel there is any need to leave.
No.
I feel that it's important that the people that you say you represent see you.
Yes.
No, I don't want people knocking down my house. That's not what I'm saying, Uncle.
No.
People being approachable, being accessible is really important.
I think it's so important.
Because in deprived communities, right, our lack of access to opportunity is often our problem.
Yes.
They've taken all of the banks away from our high streets.
All gone.
All of these access to the things that we need, the further it is removed from us, is the more wanton that place gets because you don't have any access to outside. So for me, being there and being a point of contact is so important for local people because you can see me, right? You can stop me, you can call me. This is all part of that synergy, being accessible, being approachable, being relatable. Listen, we'll get onto that another time, but being relatable, having lived the lives that many people, are living and understanding. Listen, sometimes it's a toss-up between the rent and the shopping. I know that life.
Donna, Croydon West, describe that area. And how can we look out for you come the 4th of July? What's the symbol? What's the emblem? How can we say, that's the party that Donna is a part of? But maybe describe what Croydon West is and where it is and what's going on at this moment and what you would do if voted in on the 4th of July can make that change. So just give us a demographic breakdown.
So it's very long. It's a very long constituency. So I've currently travelled it. So it starts all the way, literally from where Costco is on the Pearly Way.
Okay.
It's exactly. And it comes all the way up the Pearly Way. So if you imagine not both sides, I think it's more the Sainsbury's side, but it comes all the way there, covers part of Beddington too. So where the Asda is, come all the way up over the Pearly Way, That part of the, the social housing that's along the Pearly Way there, it covers that. West Thornton, so if you think about, what's the name of the roundabout at the bottom of Canton? Lombard
roundabout.
Are there too? It's all of that.
Wow.
All the way back up Thornton Heath. But where it stops is, it takes in some of South Norwood and Selhurst too. It's massive, it's a whole big swathe. Where it takes up Broad Green, it stops at basically South Norwood Hill. So it's long. Me and you couldn't walk it. I wouldn't suggest that we do. It's a massive piece of constituency. That's just to give people an idea of what it is. But it takes into the most diverse part of our borough. So we have a 40% South Asian demographic, and we have a 40% Afro-Caribbean and African and mixed cohort as well. So it's in terms of our borough, it's massive, and it is our most diverse part.
How many people in that constituency? Roughly?
I think we need 27,000 registered voters. A lot of people. It's a lot of numbers.
And a lot of campaigning.
A lot of campaigning. So for me, because it's the most diverse part, diversity brings different challenges, because we've got, Croydon has over 270 different languages. So if you think that's the hub of our diverse part, a lot of that is there. Languages, religions, cultures, dialects, all of that is part of it. And I've done a lot of work in different areas around that. How do we get more communities involved? It's not just the English first speaking kind of conversation.
No, it's got to be everybody.
It's got to be everybody together. And so I'm really, driving that change about being more inclusive in the way that we deliver policy across the borough, in any case, regardless of this. Why I don't want people to vote, why it's important. There may be some of you who say, well, I'm not registered to vote. You know what, I hear what you're saying, sis, and good luck on your journey, but you know what, I don't vote. That is the worst thing you could do. The worst thing.
No voice.
Because you have no voice. And actually what you do is you give away your voice to somebody else who will vote. So you won't, because you said, nah, not never work out for me. And all of those arguments are valid. But by not voting, you allow somebody to vote against your interests. So if we look at nationally now, they've capped two-parent welfare for families with 2 or more children. Now, who voted for that? Because some of us, I have 3. Some of us have 4, 5, maybe more. But the people who voted to bring that in, because we didn't vote, they voted that in. They voted in something that directly affects you and me. So it's really important that people understand that not to vote is even worse. It's the worst thing anybody can do. It's important to research also who you're going to vote for. Sometimes, people, I've been saying to people as I go around, Google me. Don't just vote for me because
find out who
I
you're
am.
Voting in. Yeah, who you're voting in.
Do your research.
Yep.
We've got to come away from that village lawyer mentality where, because Bishop said, no, research.
Do your own
Uncle's
research.
done his research. You heard him say at the beginning of the conversation, he's researched me. Research me, see what I've stood for, where I've been. Everybody has a journey and to get to where they are. But this is important that people look me up and say, well, hold on a minute. What work has she done? When has she stood with the borough? Whose hands has she supported and held during the times of difficulty? But all of this is around voting. It's important that the things that affect us in our wallets and in our homes, those are political. It's not just what they tell you at Westminster,
Well,
it's also local issues.
I do talk about that. I said, you can't. Do they go hand in hand? Ministry, religion, and politics. And you got Jesus said, what's due to Caesar, give to Caesar. That's the real crux of the matter. Well, Donna, I do believe that you do have what it takes. I'm really hoping the people out there will have listened to this interview, and I love this. Accessible, approachable, and accountable. I feel safe if I've got those 3 A's in place, plus wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which is a kind of a godly perspective, and also it's natural. There are things out there that it will take those things to put right. Then I want to just maybe the last 2 minutes to look into your camera and to speak to the hearts out there, and to not just to solicit their votes, but to say, look, vote for me, because I want to make a change in the community. I'm born and bred here. Take the opportunity in our last few moments.
Thank you so much. I'd like to say that I know you're scared. Voting and politics are very emotional topics. It's around your trust and your confidence. You don't know me. Many of you won't know me. Some of you may know me and think, you know what, I don't think she can do this. But this is a bigger conversation. This is about who will lead those very important narratives around how your children are treated, around how how you experience certain things, around housing, around the healthcare service. Do you know that in Croydon the health disparity is 11 years? If you're born in Whiteley or Kenley on the Hill, you will live 11 years longer than somebody that's born on Tennyson Road near Norwood Junction. Why? In one borough. All of these things, climate change, environment, access to green spaces, all of those things are important to the way that you live your life now. The ULEZ, as well as the more localised issues we have here around crime, women's safety, and indeed our youth issues. All of these things are conversations that I've been leading, and I will continue to do so to represent your interests. This is not about me. Like I've said, I'm not going to get rich and switch. This is not about, you're not going to see me in a brand new Range Rover anytime soon. This is not that. And often in our communities of colour, we think, well, I'm not going to vote for them because, they will benefit. This is not about benefiting me. This is about benefiting all of us. This is the first step in creating synergy. It's about two entities coming together to forge a way forward that is different, but that is representative of our combined interest. No other candidate will give you that. They're representing party machines, national party machines, that don't even live around here, that don't know, whose children don't walk these streets. So this is about you using your vote to vote for our interests. And I would urge you, as a candidate that is willing to take that forward, to vote for me. Don't vote for me, vote for me for you. Allow me to help you so that we can benefit all of us. Not just the one, but also the very many. So that's what I would say to Camera. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Donna. I hope you enjoyed this very, very important time of just beginning to reflect on the 4th of July. You've heard it.
You can register for postal votes by the 18th of June. So what's that, this week, coming Tuesday? That's the latest time you can register for your postal votes. But it's very important. But again, look me up, research, but I look forward to seeing you in the voting booth on the 4th of July.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much.
God bless you, and you got my vote.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, and please make sure you vote come the 4th of July. God bless you, and thank you for joining us. And remember, you are the head and not the tail. Thanks, Donna.
Thank you.
Christian Church, where you're the head and not the tail.